Well, if you had the Bucks plus 100, you would have covered last night. Look on the bright side. At least if it was a blowout, it was over early. And if you were on Milwaukee, you didn't have to watch more than the first quarter of that game to know that your money was down the drain. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Friday video report. Going to review last night's NBA games. Of course, let's face it, there's not much to say about the Bulls-Bucks blowout, right? And also going to give you a free pick and my thoughts about the NFL draft, at least the first round in just a moment. But quick, congratulations once more going out to Steve Buden's #1 NBA crew out of New York. They did it again last night, cashing in with Chicago. Now 10-3 so far in the playoffs. You've got in every single one of those selections at a huge discounted price. Today, playoff winner number 16 out of 18, going back to last year's NBA Finals where they won a perfect 5-0. And 50-dime postseason winner number 15 out of 17. Also, going back to last year's finals where every single one of their plays was a 50-dime winner. 10-3 start so far this postseason. 50-dime winners on Chicago last night. Atlanta on Wednesday. Houston on Tuesday. And tonight, 50-dime play. Hawks, Nets, and again, it is the half-price play of the day simply by using coupon code NYC. And a heads up for you, Brad Wilton, who is seeking winning day number 6 out of 7. 50-dime winner last night, I believe it was on Chicago. Today, 100-dime max wager. He is on the same side as Buden's New York crew. Also today, don't forget baseball. Jeff Benton. Going for 80-dime baseball winner number 5 out of 6 this season. Angels and Giants, late night action. You save $70. You get it for just $29 by using coupon code BENTON29. BENTON29. $10 bettors in baseball since last April have won $10 bettors in all sports since last April have won over $13,000 by following Jeff's action. Okay, now let's get back to the NBA here. Last night, hey, listen, I told you that I thought one of the key things going into last night's game was that Derrick Rose had to play better, and I thought that he would because I had a 15-dime best bet on Chicago last night as well. And I also thought that with the extra day's rest, it would be a difference for Rose. But I thought also that the key for Chicago last night was they had to get more physical. They had to get tougher. And my God, did they get tougher last night. But Rose, 6 for 14, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, just 2 turnovers after being a turnover machine, I think 17 total in the previous 2 games. Most important thing for Chicago, though, last night, no starter played over 32 minutes. So Tom Thibodeau was able to pull everybody, get them some rest because, let's face it, they're going to have to play tough against Cleveland, a Cavaliers team that's been laying in wait, just being rested, having time to recuperate. But now you got a Chicago team that may have an advantage in that series, A, because Kevin Love is out, B, because J.R. Smith is suspended for the first couple of games, and C, because while the Cavaliers have been sitting around wondering how they're going to respond in game action without 2 of their starting 5, well, the Bulls at least were battle-tested and, shall we say, had their mettle tested unexpectedly by the Bucks here as they extended this series by a couple of unnecessary games from a Chicago standpoint. Now, for the Clippers, it is amazing to me that the Clippers won outright last night at San Antonio despite the fact that they only hit 4 of 18 three-point shots. But you look at the Spurs and you look at the one line in the box score that stands out the most. Their free throw shooting last night, 12 for 21. And Tim Duncan, quiet game, 12 points, 13 rebounds. Leonard, the guy who was the MVP of last year's finals, remember? Bad game for him. Worst of the postseason. 3 for 15, 12 points. Tony Parker, bad game, 4 for 12, 8 points. Manu Ginobili, limited time off the bench, 1 for 6 for 3 points. And yet, the Spurs were still in there right at the end and had a chance to pull off the miraculous comeback. Now, the Spurs did win a decisive game number 7 in the first round last year against Dallas, but of course that was in San Antonio. Do you know the Spurs are 1-3 in game 7s on the road in the history of that franchise? but they did win games 2 and 5 in LA. Something to look forward to there. NFL draft last night. Kind of some interesting moves here. I don't think it was unexpected, at least from my viewpoint, that Tennessee decided to go with Mariota at number 2. I mean, what, you're going to ride Zach Mettenberger to be your next quarterback of the future? You're already bombed out with Jake Locker. You might as well take another shot on the merry-go-round, right? And not give away the choice to, if reports are true, the Eagles, who were willing to trade everybody but the ball boy and a couple of cheerleaders in order to get the rights to Chip Kelly's favorite son. How about Leonard Williams, who a lot of people thought would go number 2 if the Titans didn't go quarterback-wise, and thought that, other than Winston, he was the best player in the draft, drops to number 6 right in the New York Jets' lap. So you got Todd Bowles, former defensive coordinator extraordinaire, coming in. You know, you got some good pieces on that Jets defense from what Rex Ryan left you, and then you got Leonard Williams dropping into your lap, not too bad. Don't understand how the Giants went for an offensive lineman at number 9, but I thought it was interesting that the Rams at number 10 went for Todd Gurley. And, you know, a lot of criticism because, look, Gurley would have been, if you're going to have a running back nowadays as a top 5 pick, probably would have been a top 5 pick if he didn't have the knee injury last year. But there you got the Rams. They went out. They got a new quarterback in Nick Foles, okay? And now you're trying to improve that offense. Yeah, you had Trey Mason from Auburn last year, who was okay. But if Gurley's healthy, I mean, he is a difference changer in the backfield, and especially a great complementary piece to go along with your new young, I think 27-year-old starting quarterback in Foles. How about the Dolphins? They bombed out on the Mike Wallace deal, you know, signing the big free agent contract, and then Wallace, for whatever reason, maybe because he was just simply a head case, just didn't provide Ryan Tannehill with the consistent threat that he needed at the flanker spot. So they unloaded Wallace, and then they go out and they get Devontae Parker out of Louisville. What a nice player there. Eagles, of course, don't get a chance to, if all reports are true, get Chip Kelly's favorite son. So instead, they have to settle for Nelson Aguilar out of USC, who, nice complimentary piece after losing Jeremy Maclin and drafting Jordan Matthews last year out of Vanderbilt. So they've rebuilt their wide receiver core. I thought the Broncos had a gutsy move. You know, Shane Ray, the defensive end out of Missouri, perhaps the best pure pass rusher off the end in this year's draft. Of course, on Monday, I think it was, traffic stop, also hit with a marijuana possession. So a guy that goes from probably around 6, 7, 8 in the draft, keeps sliding right down. And what do the Broncos do? They move up 5 spots. They go and they grab Ray, who, FYI, his favorite player, the guy he idolizes, the guy who he bases a lot of his technique on, Von Miller. So now you got Von Miller, and you bring in Shane Ray, and you got DeMarcus Ware, who was very productive last year in his first year with the Broncos as they try to up that defense even more. I thought that the Colts, you know, the rich just keep getting richer. Reggie Wayne, yes, I know he has the reputation, but let's face it, last year after game 7 or 8, you know, you remember me talking about it on the video reports frequently involving picks with the Colts. He was pretty much a non-factor, no longer a guy that can consistently get open, and yet he was starting because they had nobody else. So they go out and get Dorsett out of Miami. And then how about some of the guys? Oh, and then number 32, again, the rich getting richer. So Vince Wilfork, say that 3 times quickly. Vince Wilfork gone from the Patriots, right? So you need a big guy to start rebuilding that defensive front. And there is Malcolm Brown from Texas, a guy who got better in each of his 3 seasons with the Longhorns, sitting there, more athletic, not as big, but a guy to start grooming and plug in along that front defensive line to make you younger and bigger, and nice pickup for the Patriots at the end of the first round. And then you look at some of the guys that didn't get drafted in the first round last night because of off-the-field problems, obviously, in some cases. Randy Gregory, the defensive end out of Nebraska. London Collins, who most thought was the best of a bad class of safeties out of Alabama. Couple of good wide receivers. Jalen Strong, who I thought the Eagles would actually take at number 20. He slips out of the first round at Arizona State. I like that guy a lot. And then, of course, Dorial Green-Beckham. You know what about his off-the-field incidents and stuff. A lot of talent, though, and you know somebody's going to get a steal with him in the second round. So let's move on to your free play tonight. It is going to be in baseball, where I'm going to go with Baltimore at home in Tampa Bay. Sounds strange, but you know the deal. They are designated as the home team at Tropicana Field. I've never understood that. Okay, they're going to be the home team, even though they're on the road, so they'll bat last. I get that. But it is just kind of bizarre. It's like Baltimore's going to go there. Yeah, those Ray fans. But then, actually, let me just think about this. There are no Rays fans. There may be more Orioles fans at Tropicana Field today than Rays fans, right? So maybe it could be a home game for the Orioles, who have now won 3 in a row and scored 31 runs in the process. They've scored 61 runs the last 10 games to even their record after 20 games on the season. Chris Tillman has won his last 3 starts against Tampa with a 0.83 earned run average, including the season opener in Tampa when he was the road pitcher then. 6.2 innings of work, 1 run allowed. Interesting 4 starts this season for Tillman. In 2 of them, he gave up a single run. In the other 2 starts, he gave up 7 runs in each. At least he's consistent. You got to give it to him there, right? I'm going to go with Baltimore here to snap Tampa's 5-game home winning streak, even though Tampa playing at home is the road team. Doesn't this all make sense to you? Anyway, Baltimore's your free play. Best of luck to you guys, and I'll catch you again on Saturday when we do this one more time.